Yep, and we are here, and I think this is going to be just another quiet evening.
Never a quiet evening in
We've
British
had a
basketball.
few of those recently, and this is just going to be another one. Let's take a look at the full lineups now, nice and slowly, with Coach Billy Mims on this side. London Towers first, and I think the names to watch out here: Robinson wearing 7, of course Lewis wearing 8, and Carl Brown. I think those are the 3 key guys.
Absolutely, and I think they also need a big game tonight from James Hamilton. He's been up and down this season. He's got tremendous potential. We know last year at Worthing, he was one of the league's most offensive players. So if Hamilton has a big night scoring, it should certainly be a big boost.
Let's take a look at the starting 5s. It will be Carl Brown wearing 5, Robinson wears 7, Lewis wears 8, Neville Austin wears 10, James Hamilton wears 12. And the full lineup now for the Sheffield Sharks. And I'm looking for one name here tonight, Coach, and that's John Amaechi. Oh, yeah, and Mark Robinson as well.
Well, Mark Robinson has just been a terror, as Kevin Kado said, on the Towers this year. I think he scored 55 points in the 2 Sharks victories over the Towers. So you better believe Kevin Kado studied a lot of film this week on how to stop Mr. Robinson.
Well, Robinson has had 22 in one game, 33 in another. So tonight, he either gets 11 or 44. We'll see. Mckinney wears 5, Haynes wears 10, Robinson wears 12, Cawthorn wears 14, and Amaechi wears 15. Can Amaechi take over this game?
Absolutely, and you know, he's so big, so strong, and he's got such a soft shot. Young kids out there watching the game tonight, when John Amaechi goes to the basket, he's going to get bumped, he's going to get pushed, but watch the way he finishes plays with a soft touch. When big men have a soft touch, then they can become an offensive factor, and John is certainly that.
Tonight, we have got 3 officials in this ball game. What a wonderful picture we've got on your
screen. Look at that court, Mike. I think I'm in Florida. It looks like Miami Heat basketball there. Sunshine, basketball, smiling, some sunglasses. Great game.
And we are off and rolling. Danny Lewis with the funky haircut.
I was going to say, who's going to be the first to mention Danny's hairdo?
Me!
Tony Dorsey said Danny's got the crew cut for the big championship tonight.
Carl Brown on the ball to Danny Lewis. Danny has it. Shot clock is down to 10. There's a strip. Ooh, yellow ball's the call. Let's see what the betting is saying. The betting goes with Billy Mims. Sheffield favorites by 3. You know what I say? Don't waste your money.
Hey, I want to know if those guys got a hold of my pregame report this week or something. You know, did Sky let that out beforehand?
I'm telling you, I wouldn't want to have to bet on this one. You know, on paper, it's the Sharks to me, but there's no doubt about it. Nice tip by Neville Austin. Nice drive initially by Hamilton.
James Hamilton made the play because he initiated the offense, attacking the basket. Neville Austin there to finish the play.
Yeah, on paper, I think it's going to be Sheffield, but there's no doubt about it. Amaechi misses the first. You know, you just cannot count against Kevin Kado in the big game.
Not this guy either, right there. Carl Brown played 2 years for me, my first 2 years in British basketball, and I've never coached a gutsier player than Carl Brown. In my pregame piece, I said, Carl will do whatever it takes to win. Watch him attack the basket here. That's a foul on Ian Mckinney, and it's all created by the aggressive, do anything it takes, Carl Brown.
Hamilton to put it in, gets it to Carl Brown. Carl Brown calls the play.
This is interesting. Now you see Carl Brown is running the point guard position. Danny Lewis is at the 2 guard spot. Tony mentioned before the game Danny's really a point guard. And
Keith Robinson knocks down the long 2, nearly a 3. Here it is again.
Part of the reason, as I was saying, I'll finish this while we watch Keith hit this shot. Part of the reason I think Danny's had a quiet year is because he's playing 2 positions, some point guard and some 2 guard.
Amaechi drives and gets the 2.
What did I say before the game about watching him finish plays under contact? If we do on that play there, John Amaechi drove, probably might have got fouled, took a lot of contact, but still scored.
You know, last year in the final, of course, last year was London Towers versus Chester Jets. And Neville has it, walked with it, I was just about to say, Neville Austin had an amazing game last year.
I look for Neville to play a good game tonight. I mean, he started off with a great tip. He's attacking the basket. He did jump stop there. He stopped, moved both feet. You can't do that. Great call by Matt Callender there. Young rookie official on the game tonight, has done a great year for us.
And we have 3 officials. Great move by Amaechi. Will go to the line for 2. 3 officials on this game tonight, as there has been throughout the year in the Uni-Ball Trophy. Will Jones, one of the most senior officials, and a couple of new guys coming into the game. I say new, they've been around a couple of years now. Keith Williams and Mac Callender.
Well, it's a great honor for both Keith and Mac to be able to do this final. And Nick Stonard, who's the supervisor of officials for the Budweiser League, put together this idea, this experimentation with the 3-man crew for the Uni-Ball Trophy. And I think having an experienced official like Will Jones and having 2 good rookies get a big break like this is great for the future of officiating.
John Amaechi knocks down the first 2 free throws for the Sheffield Sharks. And, you know, looking at the stats in preparation for this one, nice sky hook by Robinson. I have to say, I think one of the key things is going to be the free throws. How many times is Amaechi going to go to the line tonight?
Well, that's always a big factor for the Sharks, because John Amaechi loves to shoot the ball. There he goes again.
Oh, baby.
Nice
what
move.
a move.
Nice. He left Neville Austin standing in his tracks on that play.
It is 6 points apiece. Amaechi has all the Sheffield points. And 4 for Robinson, 2 for Austin. And knocked out. And Robinson still doesn't get there. And here come the Sharks, 3-on-1. Robinson has it. Gets a foul on Austin. Robinson will go to the line for 2.
That's the one thing that you won't see John Amaechi do too much of is lead the fast break. He does a great job of getting the rebound and kicking it out, and then you see the quick Sheffield Sharks, Mark Robinson, Ian McKinney, Dion Haynes lead the break.
2 early fouls on Neville Austin. Kevin Kado taking no chances. Takes him out of the ball game, brings Marco Baldi in for the first time. Mark Robinson of the Sharks on the line for 2.
That looks a lot better than Mark's percentage on the year. He's struggled a bit at the free throw line. He's one of their players that's shooting under 70%, but you can see he certainly looks focused at the line tonight.
Let me ask you this. How important is this game to Mark Robinson? He had 3 long years in Manchester, came up with absolutely nothing this year, made the move across the Pennines, and here in a final.
Well, last year, Robert Youngblood said when we won the Cup, is that, you know, he's always been a great player as Mark Robinson, but when you win a championship, then you've arrived.
Good hands by the Sharks. Oh, great play! Great play by Todd Cawthorn. Falling out of court, managed to knock the ball out off the Towers player.
There's my do-it-all blue-collar banger, who's one of the smartest players in the British game. Todd Cawthorn doing what he does best, outworking his opponent.
And you know, I think this is one of the things that's so special about Cawthorn. Amaechi misses the 3. When Amaechi came in, it changed up Cawthorn's role immensely, and yet he has still risen to it.
Nice basket there by Marco Baldi from the baseline. Baldi gets open. He can hit those little shots for the Towers. But you're right, Todd Cawthorn just adapted his style of play to what was going to be best for the Sharks. And what it says about Todd Cawthorn is TC is a team player.
6:13 left to play in the first. We're tied at 8. Why are these Cup finals always such low-scoring affairs?
I think because both teams are really hesitant to try and gamble too much. Usually in a regular game, you come out and you gamble and you get aggressive and you take chances. But in this game, every possession is so important. So when you're playing for a title, you see here's Dion Haynes. There's a little bit of a gamble there. You don't gamble as much in these games. They tend to be a bit lower scoring, slower paced games.
Carl Brown on the ball, looks to take the long way round, gets it off, doesn't get there, rebound, nearly a steal by Lewis. Robinson has it, 3-on-3, Robinson gets the drop for 2, and he's looking for a call as well.
Mark does a nice job there of pulling up, but that's Mark's game. He likes 2 or 3 dribbles, pull up within 15 feet, and stick the short jump shot.
In the paint, nice move by James Hamilton, then shoots short. And that's a yellow ball. Cawthorn knocks it out of there.
London Towers are getting the basketball where they want it, down low, inside, and getting good looks at the basket, but they're not finishing. They've missed already, I think, about 4 2-foot shots. So they've got to make those if they're going to stay in this game all night.
Danny Lewis comes to get it. Danny Lewis works along the baseline. Boy, that defense is tough from the Sharks. And here comes Dion Haynes. Robinson has it. Robinson gets a whistle and one!
I'll tell you where that call came from Mark Robinson. Mark got that foul on the last shot he made. Because after he made that last shot, Mike, if you remember, he was saying, I got bumped on the play. And what you do as a player, when you tell an official you've got bumped, then the very next time you take it to the basket and get bumped, the official's probably going to be looking a little bit closer. Here's Mark taking it. Baldy bumps him. Keith Williams looks a little bit closer, and Mark will get another shot.
Mark Robinson to go to the line for one. 8 points to the Towers, 12 to the Sheffield Sharks. Sheffield have been doing a great job all season.
No question. They're one of the top teams. They're third in the league table right now. Actually, maybe tied, I think, now with the Birmingham Bullets for second place. But they've had a great season all season. And they've always been, the last couple of years, one of the best teams in British basketball since I came here.
Sheffield Sharks shooting 69% free throws on the season. Tonight, they are 100%, 5 for 5. They keep that up, they're going to win this one.
Well, you know, I said if it goes down to free throws, bet on the Towers, but so far the Sharks look like they're going to prove me wrong.
Great hands.
Big play there by Ian Mckinney.
Yeah.
We talked about him being a young English player fighting a little bit of an injury, but you see there sometimes the fans out there watching the game, a big play you can make without any impact, and a lot of people didn't see that. But Ian Mckinney came in, knocked the ball out of bounds, and his Sharks now have it.
But he also managed to knock it off the Towers player.
Absolutely.
Robinson doesn't get there. 4 for 12, London Towers 33%. But 12 shots already as Danny Lewis knocks that one down.
But Mike, I say they're getting good shots, and once they start putting them in like the one Danny just took, of the 4 for 12, Towers haven't really taken that many bad shots, and they've all been inside. Kevin Kado's got his team going to the basket.
McKinney on the ball, Cawthorn pops out. Cawthorn misses. They're missing the outside shots now.
So far the Sharks have taken more jump shots than the Towers have. So again, I think Kevin's strategy, look again, inside the ball, they're trying to attack Amaechi.
He was in that paint a long time, but got away with it. And Cawthorn on the ball. Cawthorn goes long to Robinson. Robinson too long. Rebound, Amaechi. Offensive board, the first of the night for the Sharks.
Nice play there. And again, Marco Baldi had to be a bit careful there. He couldn't get a quick foul on Robinson because you remember Neville Austin is already on 2 fouls.
4 and 5 rebounds, offensive, defensive for London. 1 and 6 for Sheffield.
Yeah, but that one offensive rebound for the Sharks just resulted in Amaechi's basket, so that stat's a little bit skewed there, Mike.
Coming into the ball game, Terrell Myers for the Sheffield Sharks. And we know about his three-point shooting. And boy, do we know about Devish's three-point shooting.
This game is going to take a drastic change now. Both teams have been attacking the basket, but you've got 2 of the game's best shooters out there now. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a few bombs fly.
Danny Lewis has it. Terrell Myers goes to meet him. Let's talk about the defenses so far. Sheffield Sharks seem to be doing a good job.
Both teams have started off in man-to-man, and they're both playing aggressive, physical defense.
Shot clock at 4. Danny Lewis gets it off way short. And here come the Sharks. Terrell Myers has it. Myers gives it up to Amaechi. Robinson is fouled by Depesh. Yes, he was.
As I said before, Keith Williams is watching Mark Robinson now very closely. And if you bump Mark and Keith's watching, you're going to get the whistle. The last 2 calls that Mark has got have been made by Keith. And I think Mark Robinson's just a very smart player.
I think he was fouled.
Oh, he got bumped there. He got bumped, but sometimes referees don't see it unless you remind them.
Myers, what a move. Was that a double dribble? I don't know. Great steal by Cawthorn. Gets the drop.
Todd
Cawthorn. Look at that on the replay, because I thought that was a double dribble.
Todd Cawthorn here, you see. Oh, that was he got away with something there, I think, but it looked good anyway. But Todd Cawthorn finishes it up. You know, TC is one tough cookie.
Ian Mckinney picks up foul number 2, substitution. And Chris Finch taking no chances, going to get McKinney out of there, but brings in yet another three-point shooter, Michael Payne.
There are a lot of downtown weapons out there now for the Sheffield Sharks. Michael Payne, Terrell Myers, Mark Robinson, Todd Cawthorn, John Amaechi. All 5 Sharks now are capable of making a three-pointer.
Something I like about Michael Payne, though, is that he makes the right shot decision. I think he's one of the best in our game. Danny Lewis, nice too.
And there's one of the best in our game at taking the ball to the basket and finishing a play. Danny Lewis has got to be a big factor offensively to get the Towers going tonight.
Mark Robinson on his favorite spot. Doesn't get there. Rebound, Todd Cawthorn again. But this time he couldn't finish. Carl Brown for the Towers. Carl looks to drive and then comes back out with it. High screen set. No, it's not set. Now Baldy spots up. Goes to work on Amaechi. Oh, nice. Does a good job.
Kevin Kado's philosophy. You see Kevin there really excited about that play. And also, Kevin's feeling that Amaechi fouled him. I don't know. I think he might have bumped him before the shot, but not during the shot. So Kev's probably better off with the foul not being called, because it would have probably canceled the shot. But a great job of posting down low and trying to isolate John Amaechi.
Stolen away by Depish, and yeah, that's a good call by Will Jones. Terrell Myers hadn't re-established himself on court when he touched the ball. Hey,
Will looks awful fresh for a guy who just refereed another big game on this court 24 hours ago, didn't he?
What a game. We'll be hoping to mention that a little bit later on. Also, we're going to bring Tony Dorsey.
There's Will. Look how fresh he looks.
Later on, there he is. And he's a veteran of this team tonight.
Will looks in great shape, doesn't he? He's not even sweating yet, Mike.
He will be. He will be. Danny Lewis for 3 is long. Rebound, doesn't get the drop, and Amaechi pulls it in, and the Sharks break out 4 on 3. Myers, oh, what a great screen. That was a brilliant screen set. Was it Cawthorn?
I believe it was.
Wow.
And again, you see the Sheffield Sharks philosophy here. Push the ball up the floor against the Towers and attack the basket.
Here it is. Look at Cawthorn, how he takes the man away. Look at that, just holds him long enough. Danny Lewis. And Danny gets there late, commits the offense.
Terrell Myers really read Cawthorn well there. He used Cawthorn's body and attacked the basket. And again, Terrell's one of the best shooters in the country. I don't look for him to miss these.
Terrell Myers makes number 1. You know, I like how smooth Myers is on the ball. Smooth is the only word I can use to describe him.
I tell you, he's one of the nicest newcomers to the league this year. I really feel. I mean, great pickup. He played college basketball with Will Johnson of the Sharks, so having Will Johnson certainly was a big factor in getting Terrell Myers.
London Towers have yet to go to the free throw line in this ball game. I really did believe coming into this one that this was going to be the deciding factor of the game. The Sheffield Sharks have been there 7 times so far. Rebound Cawthorn, outlet to Robinson. Terrell Myers comes right. Robinson looks to go all the way. Is offensive foul the call. What did you think of that one, Coach?
Well, I'm not really sure whether it was or it wasn't. I just think it was a tough call for the young official to make. Keith Williams is the player at half court. The infraction occurred under the basket right in front of the veteran, Will Jones, and Will didn't blow his whistle. So I think maybe it was a call that was made from kind of, you know, British Telecom long distance, you know.
Danny Lewis. Nice move by Hamilton, doesn't get there, and there we are. We're at the end of the first. It's a 14-point Bolton. 14 points to the London Towers, 19 to the Sheffield Sharks. Join us again for the second quarter right after this.
Live football still to come this season on Sky Sports. On Monday night, we're off to Scotland for the 5th round Scottish Cup tie between Rangers and Dundee. That's Monday, 7 p.m, Sky Sports 1. Right now, we're live at the NEC Birmingham for the Uni-Ball Trophy Final. It's Sheffield with the advantage over London. Let's get back to our commentary team of Billy and Mike.
Yeah, they've got the advantage, but it's only 5 points. Let's take a look at some of the numbers, and let's bring in Tony Dorsey on this one. Tony, talk us through some of this low shooting, 7 for 20 by the London Towers.
Well, that's the most staggering statistic of the day, that London's only shooting 35% from the floor. But one of the more But the biggest factor of the game so far is Sheffield 7 for 7 from the free throw line. And Towers really need to get to the free throw line tonight.
And 6 for 14 as well. And let's take a look at what's happening on the boards, Tony. 11, 13, all very close.
Oh, the rebounds are very close, but Towers with 5 offensive rebounds need to drop some of those back in for the easy putbacks.
Okay, thanks very much indeed, Tony Dorsey. As I mentioned, we'll talk to Tony about last night's loss to Billy Mims's Leopards. Some people are saying that could have been a championship decider. I don't think it is. I think there's a long way to go in this Budweiser League. But we'll talk about that a little bit later
about
on.
that, Mike.
Danny Lewis saves it, and we're off for the second quarter. What changes do you need the Towers to make here, Billy?
Well, they've still got Depish on the court, and I think that they need to get some offense going. They're going to have to find somebody that can hit some shots for them. 14 points per quarter is not enough to win a championship game.
Tough defense by the Sharks. Boy, Depish trying to get open, just cannot get open. Down low, Keith Robinson. What a move. No good with the shot. Who's got it? Amaechi with another board.
Hamilton missing another close tap. That's about the 6th easy shot the Towers have missed on stickbacks, though.
Amaechi has it. Myers doesn't take the 3. Here's Amaechi again. Now Robinson comes around. Goes on the other side. Gets the whistle. It's on Depish.
Mark Robinson is really focused tonight. You know, you talked about it. I said earlier, you know, he's been a great player. He's a 3-time and now selected again, I think, for his 4th All-Star appearance coming up March 22nd. But, you know, he's always been a great player in this league and an offensive firepower. He's tough to stop, but I think he's really focused tonight to say, not only have I been a great player, but I can help a team win a championship.
Well, I can tell you, talking about the All-Star game, that we will have the announcement coming up of all the players and the coaches selected to this year's All-Star game at half-time. So stay with us for that. Mark Robinson, 5 for 5 from the line tonight. Sheffield Sharks, 9 for 9.
Well, at the end of the day, if the London Towers don't start shooting some free throws, they're going to be in trouble. I mean, if I'm Kevin Kado, the one statistic that you're going to obviously kind of talk to the officials about at some point is the fact that the Sharks have shot 9 free throws already and none for the Towers.
There's Kevin Kado, 21 trophies in our league. Against him, I think this is the 22nd if he wins it.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
not sure. Chris Finch, foul is on Terrell Myers. Kevin Kado, let's go back to him and talk about him for a while. Never lost the trophy final, has lost only 1 game ever in a trophy game, and that was an early round game.
Experience means so much to a team in this situation, and there's nobody in the game in this country with more experience in this situation than the man we're looking at right there, Kevin Kado. Believe me, if it's close down the stretch, bet on Kevin.
Hamilton gets the drop for 2. Wasn't a pretty offense.
Well, James Hamilton came off the little shuffle cut back pick there and got a nice layup. But as I said, he's got to become an offensive weapon for the Towers if they're going to be successful.
Will Johnson in the ball game. Amaechi on the ball, kicks it out to Robinson. Nice move, doesn't get there. Rebound. And watch out for this one. Great play. Oh,
smart play. That's a smart foul by Mark Robinson. You got to be very careful. Now, the folks out there, young basketball players watching this, one of 2 things could have happened. Danny Lewis gets it, feeds James Hamilton. Mark could have let James go for the slam dunk, right? He decided to foul him, but again, in the foul, Mark could have got a call for an unsportsmanlike foul, which would have given the Towers 2 shots and the ball. Mark did a good job of fouling him, just going after the ball.
Well, he's had his 2 fouls for this game, so we'll look for no more from him. What I liked about that was that Mark Robinson turned around and knocked himself and said, "It was my fault." Now, Mark is a guy who will be in your face if you make a mistake, but when it's his fault, he's prepared to admit it. Oh, 2 guys getting in each other's way. That pass was not intended for Amaechi. It was intended for Michael Payne.
There was a bit of confusion there as John cut to the basket. You see John, he's floating out there on that wing. John likes to shoot 3s out there, and as he floated out there a little bit, I think he thought the pass was intended for him, but really it was for Mckinney.
4-point ball game. And again, Michael Payne working that defense. Rebound, Robinson gets the drop for 2.
James Hamilton a little unhappy there on the drive to the basket. James is feeling that Mark Robinson has made that same move and gotten free throws. James Hamilton made a nice drive, got bumped, and got no call.
It's a 2-point ball game. Amaechi posting up on Neville Austin. Michael Payne has it to Robinson. Amaechi comes around the top, will set the screen for Mark. There it is. Amaechi rolls, has the ball, goes to work on Robinson. Double team comes. Amaechi got bumped there. What a play, John Amaechi.
I tell you what he did there. He rushed his first shot. You'll see the replay. I don't know if we're going to get a replay there. He rushed his first shot, didn't get it, but again, he stuck with it, got the offensive rebound, and scored the bucket.
Danny Lewis for three is long. Great rebound. And here comes the Sharks again. Terrell Myers. Myers pulls up, gets it inside. Mark Robinson saves the day. And now gets it down low again to Amaechi. The double team comes again. Amaechi this time puts it up. And no knockback. Danny Lewis, will he get there? No, he won't. And here comes Amaechi. Amaechi, tough play for two.
Oh, that's a bad situation there for the Towers. They work to get the rebound and shot. They throw it long, and what could have been a potential layup for Danny. He saves it, and Danny Lewis made the cardinal sin here. Never save the ball, throw it back towards the other team's basket.
Depeche for three, way off. And here comes the Sharks again. 4-on-2. Myers to Robinson to Amaechi. Amaechi walked with it, they say. Walked with it. Timeout has been called by Kevin Kado. 19 to the Towers, 25 to the Sharks. Let's go down and take a listen what Kevin Kado is going to say to his London Towers.
Yo, we got Danny. All right. Yo, let's move ourselves, move the basketball. All right, move ourselves, move the ball. I need a better job of rebounding. Let's get that rock down the floor. All right. Better job of rebounding. Yo, we got Nev down there. Let's see if we can start using Nev in the post. We getting some movement off of that. All right, so we got to hold that position and then get some starts, some good movement. Yo, so y'all two work together. You get some screens, you work screen and get Paul open. All right, come on, baby, we all right. Yo, we getting there. We just got to concentrate. All right, let's go. 1, 2, 3, high level. Let's go.
We had a little bit of information there. Kevin Kado looking for his 6th title. More importantly, I think he's looking for his 2nd 3 in a row. And that I think is just an amazing performance.
Well, Kevin has been, in his entire career, he's been around winners. He's been with some great basketball teams when he coached up in Scotland. He coached a great Kingston franchise to many, many years of success. And then he jumped over and he coached a good Guildford team. And then now with the London Towers. So, at the end of the day, Kevin Kado has been around winners for a long time.
We can see Kingston, Thames Valley, London Towers, only winners of this competition in England. The only other team to win it, Livingston, in its first year. Nice screen and roll. Ball is with Carl Brown, doesn't take the long two. Carl Brown loses it. That's a double dribble or something.
I tell you what they're doing a bad job of sometimes, and Carl gets in a situation like that. Look, they should have cleared out. Carl wanted to attack the basket, but Marco Baldi stepped in there and got in the way, and it got really crowded, so they're taking that penetration away from Carl, and he made the mistake and turned it over.
Dion Haynes wraps it around to Amaechi for three. It's good! John Amaechi now from the outside knocks down the three.
He is a dangerous big man, and here he goes. You can't let him float out there because he can hurt you.
Depeche is fouled by Michael Payne. Michael got out there. Tamir Berkovich is coming into the ball game for the first time. Michael Payne goes out. Terrell Myers comes back. John Amaechi doing such a job. 15 personal. Hamilton on the ball. Hamilton with a nice crossover. Tamir Berkovich now on the ball for the Towers. Berkovich kicks it out to Hamilton. Hamilton himself can make the threes. He doesn't. Tamir Berkovich, oh!
Well, I got to give the young guy a foul there. I mean, the little man goes in and get a big rebound, puts it up, and doesn't get anything. I got to reward the young kid for coming on and going to the glass like that.
Hamilton has the ball, gets it to Carl Brown. Hamilton again. Austin is posting up. Baldy gives it back to Carl Brown. Baldy doesn't seem to roll to the hole as sharp as he should.
Well, it's not really his game, though, Mike. Baldy is more of a spot-up player. He sets screens, and then he steps away, and he faces the basket well. Again, this is what I said a moment ago, though. They've got to give Carl Brown that room to make that move. The more Carl does that, it causes Sheffield problems.
You know, I don't know. That last call, I thought Carl Brown stuck his elbow out, initiated the contact.
Well, he might have, but again, I think the ball carrier driving to the basket like that has allowed a little bit of freedom in protecting the ball when the defender is playing as aggressive as Haynes is. I think you got to protect the ball handler a little bit, and you give him a little bit of leeway.
Carl Brown misses number 1.
The guy we see in the picture there was last year's most valuable player, and before this thing's over, I'm sure he's going to put everything he's got on the line tonight.
Gets the second as just 1 point in the ball game. On the floor for the Sharks, Terrell Myers, Mark Robinson, Will Johnson, Todd Cawthorn, and John Amaechi. Amaechi has the ball to Robinson. Robinson looking ahead, sees what's on. There's Amaechi with the ball. Amaechi puts it up, knocks it down. Long two. Amaechi has 17 of the 28 points of the Sharks.
Well, you can see he's already taken 11 shots, and we're not even to halftime. I predicted he'd take 25 shots in this game tonight, and he's come in here to say, I can score, get me the ball, let me do my thing.
Now, I gotta tell you, Marco Baldi made the move, but took the defender with him illegally, in my opinion.
And Carl Brown capitalized because he hit the 3.
Yep. Here's Amaechi again. This time kicks it back out to Cawthorn. Robinson, goal side of his man. There's a nice mismatch there, but Carl Brown comes away with it. And Terrell Myers doesn't stop Carl. Too high off the glass. No putback. Robinson. 3-on-2 going the other way. Myers has it. Myers for 3 is good!
Oh, tough situation there. Kevin Kado and Carl Brown, neither are very happy with this transition. Terrell Myers gets a 3-pointer out of the play, but the play before, Carl drove hard to the basket, got a good bump from John Amaechi, got no call. I think Carl was a little upset.
Gets the drop, basket is good. I was about to say we had us a 10-point ball game. Back to 8.
Back to 8, and it could go to 7. But again, that's what the Towers have got to continue. Look at James Hamilton and Carl Brown both doing what they've got to do. Drive to the basket. They've got to attack the Sheffield big men. The better they do that, the better they're going to be.
Timeout has been called by Sheffield coach Chris Finch. Let's go down and hear what Chris Finch is going to say in this, his first final.
Listen, they were just giving a breather here because we got 2 timeouts to give. We want to finish strong. We got to finish strong, okay? I think we're pulling ourselves off balance trying to reach too much on the perimeter, which is allowing them into the middle. Okay, just play more straight up with their hands like this, right? Let's see. And on that little pat, you guys got to come out, man. Listen, when he's out there at the guard position and Lewis isn't, he's going to look to shoot, okay? Also, let's go. We got Berkovich guarding Mark. All right, listen, anyway, we want to run some motion. Okay, let's get some ball moving. Here we go.
There's Chris Finch. You know the Sheffield Sharks outfit won 2 trophies in their first year, haven't won anything since. This is very important to them today.
Well, it is, because people always tend to, unfortunately, measure success by silverware. But I think in the past 4 years, they have been one of the most successful franchises in the Budweiser League. And if you look at their winning percentage of overall games, they'll be right there with the Towers and with the Leopards and with the Birmingham Bullets, the top clubs over the last 4 years. So, again, it's unfortunate that their success is only measured by the lack of silverware. I think they're a great franchise, great organization. Hopefully tonight, you know, they can erase that number.
Hamilton for the extra 1 gets it. 7-point ball game with 3:06 left to play in the half. Terrell Myers advances the ball for the Sheffield Sharks. Robinson throws it away.
A little bit of lack of communication there, a little miscommunication. Mark Robinson is looking hard at the high post for Wilbur Johnson and then quickly turns and feeds low to John Amaechi, and I think John thought the pass was going to the high post.
Berkovich still on the floor for the Towers. Berkovich gets it down low. It is with Austin. Berkovich comes right. Hamilton works the baseline. It's good for 2.
I don't want to sound like a broken record, but if Brown and Hamilton and Lewis attack the basket, the Towers could find some success.
An alley-oop pass. Will Johnson is fouled hard by Hamilton.
Not a smart foul here by James Hamilton. Will Johnson is a 66% shooter down in there, but he was also fading away and falling. Watch Will here. He's off balance. He's fading away. And what Hamilton does poorly, go up and put a hand in Will's face, but when he tomahawked him, he came down with that hatchet. He's going to put Will at the line for 2 free throws.
Will Johnson's one of those guys, there are very few of them who shoots better from the field than from the free throw line.
Yeah, I was about to say that might be a good foul if he misses this, which he does. And those were the first 2 misses tonight at the line, I believe, for the Sharks.
Certainly was. Berkovich doesn't get there, gets a whistle. Let's see who it's on. Looks like I think it's Will Johnson. Not absolutely sure,
and again,
but
2 minutes, 15 seconds. Let's take a look at the replay. Look at Timmy Berkovich, the young English kid. That's the second time he's attacked the basket. Well, he got an earlier rebound, went up, John Amaechi blocked it, and I thought he got fouled, but again, he drives to the basket. I'm impressed with young Timmy Berkovich here, showing that he's not, in awe of this trophy final.
Chris Finch takes out Will Johnson. Berkovich gets the first good little spell for the Towers.
We talked about both of these teams having pretty good benches in the pregame piece, and both teams have already gone 8 deep in this first half. 8 players have been on court for the Towers, 8 players have been on court for the Sharks. Good work by both full team complements tonight.
Amaechi pulls down the defensive board, and the Sharks are off again. The Sharks offense is kind of slower when Terrell Myers is handling the ball than when Dion Haynes is handling the ball. Robinson saves it, but gives it up to the Towers.
Mark better start shooting the ball. The last 2 passes he's made have been turnovers, but when he shot it, he's had a lot of success.
Berkovich, Kevin Kado, very active on the sideline. You see him at the top of your picture telling guys where to go on the floor. Carl Brown for the long 2 is good.
Carl's coming alive here now. I think that's, what was that, 5 points for Carl now? 6 points for Carl. He's coming alive, and he says, hey, I'm not going to let the Towers down tonight.
Mark Robinson. Mark Robinson getting mad, guys. They're not going to the spots on the floor. Here's Mark Robinson. Will he get the ball back from Myers? Foul is called on Carl Brown. Kevin Kado doesn't like it.
Oh, now this is a tough call. I'll tell you why the official's making the call here. Carl Brown is one of the best defensive players in British basketball. He gets bumped on the screen, he recovers, and he gets pushed here. A good shove from the right hand of Terrell Myers as he drives. But Carl also has a reputation sometimes for flopping and not getting pushed and falling, and I think his reputation drew that foul.
Mark Robinson getting back into the action with a nice 15-footer.
I said he should be better off shooting the ball than passing the ball, didn't I?
Berkovich doesn't take the 3 steps in a couple of paces and then misses the 2. Rebound Mark Robinson. Robinson breaks out. Terrell Myers pulls up for the 3. Is no good. Great play, Berkovich.
It's 31 to the side of the Towers, 35 for the Sheffield Sharks.
Timeout has been called. The score, less than a minute to play. 31 points to the Towers, 35 to the Sheffield Sharks.
Everybody in the house, you gotta like this one.
Let's go down and hear what Kevin's saying.
Give me.
Come on, everybody. You do it when he gets the chorus.
Fifth. Yo, all right, fifth. Good first group here, all right? Let's get to the spot, all right? If you see somebody is out of a position, all right, you go get that position so we can run this, all right? We get some fifths, then we come back and we D up. Everybody gets it, goes to the boards. Let's get it. Let's go on. But on the last one, I want a tough D, all right? I want a tough D up. Everybody going to the boards. You can't let down on the defensive end, fellas, all right? You cannot let down on the defensive end. All right, come on, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. So we got.
You know what I like
1, 2,
about
3.
Kevin Kado's timeouts? You know, he says nice and early he wants fist. I'm sure you'll tell us what that is in a moment. But then it's motivation. It's I want you guys to go to the board. 2 times he said it. You cannot let down on the defensive end.
Well, that was a good timeout there by Kevin Kado. It's 50 seconds to go, and we see the points here. Obviously, London has come back here, and they've won this second quarter to this point here. So they lost the first quarter, but they've come back, shored up their defense, and done a better job offensively. Big possession here for the Towers.
And a 3-guard offense for this one. Carl Brown, Tamir Berkovich, and Danny Lewis on the floor at the same time. Don't often see that. Danny Lewis drives, gets a whistle. Think that's going to be on Terrell Myers. Second foul on Terrell Myers. Chris Finch having a few words with Will Jones.
2 shots for Carl Brown.
There's Finch.
We got Danny Lewis.
Danny Lewis on the line. Gets the first.
That's 5 points for Danny tonight, but he spent quite a while on the bench there a few minutes ago while Berkovich and Brown were running the backcourt. So Danny had a little time to focus and get himself ready, and now he's come out there and he's made a great penetrating move.
Misses the second. Another defensive board for John Amaechi.
And when you don't get a lot of free throws, which the Towers have it in the first half, every one is critical.
Mark Robinson took that early. I think Austin touched it. Made no difference. It went down.
Mark Robinson is probably one of the league's best shooters from 15 feet and in. He loves that short-range jump shot.
Robinson looks inside to Neville Austin. Neville gets it off. Is short. Another rebound. Amaechi has it. Not long left on the game clock. Too late. There we are. The end of the first half. John Amaechi has 17 points, and he's certainly having an effect on this ball game. 17 points and 8 rebounds as well. The score at the half: London Towers 32, Sheffield Sharks 37. Well, they might be struggling, but they have still got one Grant Hill in the lineup, and if Grant's out there, they're going to be okay, Detroit. We're back at Birmingham, the NEC, and this man has been having a ball game and a half. No doubt about it.
Well, speaking of NBA, there's the resident NBA veteran in British basketball right now. Again, for those fans out there who don't know, John Amaechi is an ex-Cleveland Cavalier player. Spent a full season with the Cleveland Cavaliers, did a good job in the NBA, and rumors around that he may get back there one day.
You know, I was speaking to John before this game, and I said, John, you know, how do you feel about this game? He says, Mike, it's just another game. We just go out there and play hard. I said, would it be just another game if it was an NBA playoff game? He says, no, I don't think so.
Well, you know why that is, Mike? The amount of money riding on it.
Austin has it, gets it back to Hamilton. And now Robinson posts up. Oh, Robinson pops out off the post and doesn't get there. Rebound, Amaechi. Big rebound by Amaechi. Advances the ball, make that. How many rebounds for Amaechi? That's 9 so far. One more, and he's already got a double-double. Dion Haynes has the ball. Amaechi goes around, long way round, gets it, and goes to work. Turnaround jumper short, way short. Todd Cawthorn saves the day, pulls it in. Amaechi has it. Amaechi, nice spin move off the glass. Oh, baby, what a move. That was a train coming at Neville Austin there.
It was nothing Neville could do about it either. The train was coming. He spun past Robinson. Neville tried to draw the charge and try to block the shot, and Amaechi just too strong.
I think Neville was probably a little close to the basket there to get the charge. Carl Brown has the ball. 32-39, 7-point ball game. Neville Austin with his own spin. It's blocked by Amaechi. Amaechi pulls it in, and here come the Sharks again. Robinson has it. Robinson, that's a yellow ball. Ooh. Thought that went off Mark Robinson out of court.
I'd say that's not quite the shot on the other end of the floor. If you're going to go to John Amaechi, here we see the replay of the turnover here, or not the turnover, but attempt. Ooh, I don't know about that one.
Robinson has it, doesn't get there.
Sorry, they got it back anyway now.
Yeah. Danny Lewis. Danny Lewis blows past his man all the way home.
This is what we've been missing from Danny Lewis tonight. Transition basketball coast to coast.
Mckinney doesn't take the three, feeds it down low. Cawthorn has it, fields the double team, goes long, landed before he let the ball go. Depish is coming in, Neville Austin's going out. Let's take another look at this.
Yeah, he came down out of bounds before he tried to save the pass. I think Cawthorn was just in a little trouble there trying to force something he didn't have.
Danny Lewis on the ball. John Amaechi being called on to defend Depish. Left Robinson wide open. Todd Cawthorn couldn't do anything there.
Now that might have been one of the nicest offenses the London Towers have run tonight. Great isolation. Robinson down inside with Cawthorn. Great feed and a good score for the Towers.
Mark Robinson has the ball to Mckinney. Mckinney gets it back from 3 points of Ian Mckinney. Mckinney came down on the foot. He is definitely not 100%. Don't know if we get a chance to see him land here. No, we don't. He is definitely hurting in this one.
The one thing you cannot let Ian Mckinney do is get a good, open, long look at the basket. The Towers just let him stand out there that time, and he buried it.
Depish to Robinson. Robinson for threes, way off. Mark Robinson pulls it in, and the Sharks off and running. Cawthorn has it. Cawthorn. Oh, what a play, Todd Cawthorn.
Good transition basketball by the Sheffield Sharks. Mark Robinson gets it out quick. He's a good passer in the open floor. Todd Cawthorn finishes nicely.
Carl Brown on the ball. Gets it to Depish for the long three. It's good. Robinson nearly stripped by the other Robinson. Mark has it. Gets it to Amaechi. Amaechi's going to go baseline here. Oh, yeah. Oh, doesn't get the drop. You could see that baseline move coming. Carl Brown round the back. And one.
Count the basket.
Carl Brown.
KB doing what he does best here again. This is vintage Carl Brown. Hope we get a replay of this because KB is coming down the floor. Here we go. Vintage behind the back, right down the heart. Draw the foul, finish the play. Vintage Carl Brown basketball.
On the line for the extra one. Could cut this thing to a 2-point ball game. Know what? We got us a 2-point ball game.
And Mr. Carl Brown has gone to 9 points to lead the Towers. I think he may be looking for another silver dish in his trophy cabinet tonight. If he gets going, Carl's tough to stop.
On the ball, Mark Robinson. Mark Robinson for two is good. Off the screen, knocks it down.
Another 16, 17-foot jump shot by Mark Robinson. And again, that's where he loves to shoot the basketball.
Now Robinson on Amaechi is good. Boyd stepped up in this third.
Hey, we get some fired up basketball now, one-on-one at its best.
There's Amaechi inside on a nice pass. Doesn't get there, gets the whistle, will go to the line. Tony Dorsey, of course, is with us on the commentary. Tony, the last few minutes, the tempo seems to have definitely moved up a touch.
Well, the pace has picked up a great deal in this third quarter. I think the players are a bit loose and a bit more relaxed now, so you're seeing them play their style of basketball.
Last few minutes have looked pretty good for the London Towers. Amaechi still hanging in there for the Sharks. Who do you think the emphasis is with?
Right now, I think the Towers have the advantage. They've gotten back in the game from an 8-point deficit early in this third quarter, and I think they're playing Tower style of basketball right now.
Okay, Amaechi gets him. Amaechi solid tonight, 4 for 4, 21 points for John Amaechi. Leads all scorers. Danny Lewis. Depish has it back to Danny. Carl Brown. Amaechi does have that double-double I was talking to you about. Hamilton goes to work on Amaechi. doesn't get the bucket. Amaechi picks up foul number 1.
He's got a little comment there. He's not too happy with the foul on the play, but I think James Hamilton out-quicked him here. John Amaechi's going with him to the basket. He's saying there that I had my hands up and I got away from it. But I think Hamilton just got a quicker step that time, turned the corner, and Amaechi made the contact. Hamilton's going to get 2 free throws.
Mckinney goes out. Terrell Myers back into the ball game. You know, the Sheffield outfit gets such good help from their English players. Michael Payne, we've mentioned, McKinney, they do such a good job that he's able to rest the Americans whenever he wants to.
Well, he's one of the few teams in the country that bring 2 American basketball players off the bench, or 2 foreign players, but a lot of times so do the London Towers. They bring Marco Baldi off the bench and sometimes also James Hamilton or Deppish off the bench. So Kevin has had a deep bench this year, as have the Sharks. Both teams getting a lot of contributions from a lot of people.
Rebound, Robinson. Danny Lewis on the ball. Danny to the stutter step. Oh, gets the drop, and the same as at the other end, Mark Robinson was too close to the basket to get the charge there.
Hey, Mike, we've got a 1-point basketball game, and it's anybody's show now.
Boy, there is some post-up going on between Hamilton and Amaechi. Here's Amaechi now. Goes to work. That's a foul. Doesn't get the drop. Will go to the line.
Now, this is what's great about good basketball, Mike. On the other end of the floor, watch this play. We just saw James Hamilton out-quick Amaechi, and Amaechi foul him. Now, on the other end, John Amaechi says, "You think you're quick? Watch this." And he blows by James Hamilton, and Hamilton fouls him. So that's just great one-on-one basketball. Great for the young basketball players out there to learn a lot from one-on-one basketball.
Well, you know what I liked was the work that went on between these 2 guys, trying to get the position long before the ball ever got anywhere near to Amaechi.
That's a dangerous situation, too. Kev just took James Hamilton out of the game. That was Hamilton's 3rd personal foul. And Hamilton has been a good factor both offensively and defensively tonight. He's on 9 points for the Towers, so I think that his absence will certainly affect the Towers.
Kyle Brown goes to work. What a play! Doesn't get the drop. Who's got the ball? Will Johnson gets the rebound, and 4 on 2. Mark Robinson gets the whistle, will go to the line. Think that might be on Deppish.
This one I don't know about. I'd like to see a replay of this because I thought Paul Deppish did a pretty good defensive job, and he's going to pick up his 3rd personal foul. There's the, I don't know if there's a foul there yet, and I think he's straight up, hand in the shooter's face there. I don't know if you can do a better defensive job than that, but Mark Robinson's going to get 2 free throws.
I think Mark, who's one of my favorite players, as you know, took the wrong decision there. On a 3-on-2 break, Mark should have given up the ball, maybe get it back as well, but he should have taken a better decision there.
Well, he still got the 2 free throws, so he's going to probably figure it worked out okay.
Mark Robinson again, got bumped that time, rebound, and a foul, Will Johnson. Mark Robinson got bumped hard, that didn't get the call.
Well, let's make a big point here. Will Johnson was a starter for the Sheffield Sharks before the arrival of John Amaechi. Will Johnson has led them, even with the arrival of John Amaechi, all season as their best offensive rebounder. I thought the play here was his positioning, his rebound, and drawing the foul.
Misses the first of the free throws. Will Johnson shooting, as we said earlier, only 65% on the season. Still waiting to score his first point in this ball game. Still waiting to score his first point.
He's 0 for 4 at the free throw line, and if he catches the ball again, watch the Towers try to mug him, I think.
It has to be said, he's kind of letting the side down here. Oh, that should have been a jump ball.
Ooh. Now, that was, that's what I say. I think that might be one of those even up calls. If Paul Deppish didn't foul Mark Robinson, then on this play right here, I don't think that Will Johnson fouled. That's a clean block.
2 hands on the ball, separate players.
That's a clean block. That's a clean block there. But anyway, Neville Austin's going to get a chance to tighten the game up.
Fails to get there. This is the foul situation. Billy, take a look at this. Hamilton and Deppish 3 apiece for the Towers. Johnson and Hames 3 apiece for the Sharks.
I think it's more important that the Hamilton situation for the Towers. The foul trouble on the London Towers, a bit more critical than the 2 players in foul trouble for the Sharks.
Nice crossover dribble by Terrell Myers. Big rebound by Hamilton. Hamilton hurt his wrist on that. Stolen away by Dion Hames. End to end. Oh boy. Terrell Myers had left the spot. Dion Hames passed into the spot. Myers had to go back and get the ball. Mark Robinson has it. Myers back to Robinson. Robinson is good for 2. Oh, Mark Robinson is ready. 17 personal. Make that 19 personal.
Hey, so far for the Sheffield Sharks, it's really been a 2-man show. John Amaechi, Mark Robinson. The rest of the Sheffield Sharks have sort of been supporting characters, supporting cast characters, but Amaechi and Robinson have come out here to try and win this team.
Lewis drives, gets there for 2. Oh, you gotta love the way that Danny Lewis protected the ball, put his body on Amaechi. Let's take another look at this. Look at that, and then drop the ball in.
I tell you what, that was almost an and 1 as well. I think again, Amaechi jumps up in the air as Lewis is going by. Danny Lewis did a great job protecting it. Vintage Danny Lewis. And another steal by
Danny Lewis, who's coming up with this. Berkovich couldn't save it, blue ball.
Now this is a situation earlier, Danny threw the ball back at his opponent's basket. This time as Danny's fallen out of bounds, he throws it up center court. What Danny should have done here, if he'd had real presence of mind, throw the ball towards the Towers basket. Just throw the ball towards your own basket.
I like the no call on that play just there because they were both fighting for the ball. I'm sure one fouled the other fouled the first. Good no call. Robinson short. Rebound, Will Johnson. Foul. Doesn't get there. Will wanted that one.
Wait a minute now. Again, I said the next time he touches the ball, mug him, you know.
Kevin is having a few words.
Hey, Kev might be upset here, but with Will Johnson going to the free throw line, and Will is 0 for 4 in the game at the line. I don't know if anybody fouled him there either.
I thought Robinson came in.
He might have.
Just a touch.
But again, it could be a good foul if Will continues to have his woes at the line.
Kevin is still talking to Mr. Calendar, still looking to him every so often. We'll see how that develops.
And Will Johnson had a little smile there. I think he was a little smile there saying, finally I made a free throw.
Finally I got a point. Will Johnson has more fouls than points in this game. Danny Lewis. Danny Lewis drives down the middle, wraps it around to Robinson, is long. Rebound, Mark Robinson, make that Terrell Myers with a nice tip. Myers, great save. Amaechi has it to Myers. Myers for 3, doesn't get there. Rebound, Hamilton. Danny Lewis has it, should give it back to Hamilton. Danny goes for the 3, is good.
Whoa, big play by Danny Lewis. He's now on 14 points to lead the Towers scoring. Under control, good shot selection, buries the jump shot, big 3-pointer, and the Towers have cut it to a 4-point game.
Hames to Amaechi. Amaechi goes to work. Beautiful hang time by John Amaechi.
Nice, again, soft touch exhibited by the Sharks big man there.
Of course, they took that shot early enough so that they should have a 2-on-1. Berkovich for 3 points.
Hey, I said it at halftime. I thought we'd see Timmy Berkovich make a big impact. And here's the penetration from Hamilton. Maybe a charge, maybe not. But he kicks it, and Berkovich nails the 3. Another, a great young English shooter with a good future ahead for him in the Budweiser League.
10 seconds left in the quarter. Dion Hames looks around, sees how long's left, puts it up, is long. Rebound, Robinson. Danny Lewis needs to put it up. Does he get it off? It doesn't matter anyway. Danny Lewis is on the floor, stretching out, and the score. John Amaechi, of course, hot here tonight with 25 points. It's a 3-point ball game. London Towers 55, Sharks 58. Boy, this one's going all the way.
games coming up on Sky Sports over the next few days, especially for Arsenal fans. Wednesday night, we have their trip to Selhurst Park and Wimbledon, and then on Saturday morning off to Old Trafford for the champions Manchester United. Both these games on Sky Sports 1. Here at the NEC, the Sharks ahead still, but only by 3 from the Towers. Let's get back to Billy Mims and Mike Sharp.
And very quickly, let's take a look at some of the numbers. Tony Dorsey, talk me through this.
Well, the three-point percentage picked up a little bit in the third quarter. Towers is shooting 31 and Sheffield is shooting 43. And Towers even picked it up on the two-pointers. They're now up to 46%. The free throws are really struggling. Sheffield are plus 10 on Towers in free throws right now.
17 for 21. Sheffield Sharks. And on the boards, look at the defensive rebounding by the Sheffield Sharks.
Well, the defensive rebound has really been the story right now. Towers had a lot of offensive rebounds in the first half, and Sheffield had cut out that altogether in the third quarter.
35 rebounds for the Sheffield Sharks. Let me ask you, Tony, just before you go, tell me who's going to win this one?
Like I said before the game, it's Towers, and I think Towers are still going to pull it out.
Okay, Billy Mims?
I'm gonna sit on the fence here still. I think the Sharks, still have the best statistics, but the Towers are making a great run.
Oh, jump ball, they say. Jump ball. Mr. Calendar says jump ball. Amaechi took that clean. Let's take another look at this. Amaechi looking to protect the ball, had it out there, and Danny Lewis went in. Yeah, that looked like a foul to me.
Well, I think that John made the mistake. John turned and showed Danny the ball.
Robinson has it. Robinson kind of nudges well out of there. Robinson gets it back. And now Tamir Berkovic doesn't take the three. Danny Lewis and the defense set. Now Berkovic takes the three.
Oh, there's my boy.
We are tied at 58.
Hey, I said I was a prophet, but I said this young kid was going to make an impact. 2 for 2 behind the arc. You got to like what he's brought to the Towers table.
Mark Robinson on the ball. Robinson goes long to Dion Haynes. Terrell Myers to Amaechi. Amaechi tells Mark to come and get it. Here is Amaechi. Amaechi for the long two. Whoa! Boy, that was way out there. Foot on the three-point line. Take a look at this.
Hey, these sides are going head-to-head now. We're lighting it up.
Danny Lewis will not get there. Rebound, Will Johnson. Terrell Myers has the ball. I think we're looking for an alley-oop here. Mark Robinson just said no. Said yes earlier and then said no. Myers has it. Amaechi. Amaechi turns around, faces Neville Austin, lays a little body swerve on it, a little shake and bake from Myers. What a move. Oh, baby, what a move.
Nice play. He's got a big reputation for being a dangerous three-point shooter, but he gives a great ball fake, goes by Danny Lewis all the way to the basket, finishes strong.
Danny Lewis on the ball. Neville Austin goes to the fadeaway, doesn't get there. Rebound, Myers. And here comes the Sharks again. And Towers keep pulling this thing back, tying up the ball game. Robinson has it, doesn't get there. Will Johnson with another big offensive board. And Robinson and Will Johnson fight for it. And then they give it up to James Hamilton. Hamilton has it, looking for help. And he gives it up. That'll be a jump ball. Yeah.
Towers are lucky to come out of this with a jump ball because they came down the floor 1-on-3, and James Hamilton made a really bad decision throwing the ball into 2 guys in the center of the court. Robinson and Lewis, neither one really knew who was coming to, and Robinson certainly wasn't expecting him. So Hamilton lucky to come out of this with a jump ball, and one he should certainly win. I think James Hamilton's about 6'7", and I think Dion Haynes is about 4'7". So if Hamilton doesn't win this jump ball, I'll be severely surprised.
And Hamilton likes to play his basketball above the rim.
Hey, in this case, he doesn't have to play above the rim. You only have to play above, above his armpit, and he'll probably win the tie. There we go.
And he knocks it out. Tepish has it to Marco Baldi. And now Tamir Berkovic puts into the ball game. In the first half, we didn't see a lot of Danny Lewis for some reason. And in this half, we are not seeing a lot of Carl Brown. Walked with it. Kevin Kado didn't like it. Let's see if we can see his feet on this one. He plants the right. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm with the official on that one.
He moved the pivot foot. Now, you know, he's a European player, and in Europe, a lot of times you get away with that switching pivot feet, but not here in England.
Whoa, boy, look at Baldy and Amaechi. Woo!
Those are two big bodies going at it out there, aren't they?
Dion has it, gets it to Michael Payne. Payne on the fadeaway three will go to the line. Let's see how many. Will they say he was back on the ground? Is it going to be 3 shots or is it going to be 2? It's going to be 3. Michael Payne going to the line for 3, shooting 73%, and that is foul number 4 on Depish. And Depish has not had a great night tonight, has only 3 points in this ballgame.
Tough foul here, you know. Here's Payne taking a quick shot. He's probably not going to make anyway. And Depish comes. I don't know if it's a 3-shot foul because I think Payne had gotten back to the floor and Depish fouled him, running into him way after the shot. Probably means it should be a common foul and not a shooting foul. But, you know, there we go. There's justice anyway. If it wasn't a 3-shot foul, well, Payne just missed the first one anyway. But what London Towers have got to do is, down the floor, they've got to get themselves back under control and attack the basket. And I guess that's real justice now. Payne's missed 2 of them.
You know, early in this ball game, the Sharks were 9 for 9 from the line. They're now 17 for 23.
Free throws, he missed all 3. No one would have ever guessed he would do that because Payne is an excellent shooter.
Danny Lewis right down the middle. No basket. No basket.
I tell you what, though. That's one Danny Lewis wishes Will would have swallowed the whistle on, because Danny made the layup, and it was a very, very touchy foul. So Danny probably would have rather had the layup than the whistle.
The ball will come in from the end line. Although he was on the way to the basket, he was sized, in my opinion anyway, and that of the official, obviously, not really in the act of shooting as yet. Now Lewis with the spin move. Lewis with the reverse gets a whistle this time. He will go to the line. Think that's going to be on Amaechi. It looks like number 2.
That's only Amaechi's second personal foul. And one of the things John Amaechi simply does not do is he doesn't get himself in foul trouble. He's a very smart player, and he doesn't overcommit himself too often. So very rarely do you find John Amaechi in foul trouble.
But again, to be fair to the official, that was a good call. Amaechi's arms were not straight up, and that is not a foul until the offensive player takes off, makes contact with that arm. It is a foul.
Danny makes this, it could cut the game to 2 with 6:46 left to play. And again, it's going to go probably right down to the wire. And the smarter basketball team probably going to win the game.
Well, at least the Towers have got 60 points, so they've gone past that low mark in this game. It always seems to be a low-scoring game, the final of the Uni-Ball. Manchester and Chester, low scorers in their finals recently. That's a foul by Berkovic.
Well, I don't know about that one. I'd like to see a replay there. I thought Timmy Berkovic, he might have fouled him on the drive, but they don't call that. Mark does a great job getting the rebound back. Then he put the ball on the floor and handed it to Timmy Berkovic. Timmy took it away.
I think Berkovic's left hand was out of court, but that's a difference.
Yeah, I don't know if it was a foul. Most of the time, the officials will tell you, and Will's one of the best in all of Europe. Most of the time, the officials will say in that situation, even if you got the hand of Mark Robinson, it's not a foul. They say the hand is part of the ball. And I don't know what Timmy could have got beside the ball or the hand.
Mark Robinson has been studying in this country. In fact, when he came in, he wanted to come in with enough time to do some studies. And just the last couple of days, Mark Robinson has now been made Dr. Mark Robinson, got his PhD. We got to call him Dr. Robinson now.
Well, Dr. Robinson went 1 for 2 at the line, and PhD or not, he needed to make both of those to keep this game in the Sharks' hands.
Now, there's one thing I can say. He may not play as well as Dr. J, but he's got as pretty a name. Baldy to the sky, hook is good.
Oh, that was a nice, they're the big guys again. Marco Baldy against John Amaechi. Isolate, great duck-in move. Amaechi's dead. There's nothing he can do to stop that one. Marco Baldy, big-time shot.
Nice crossover. Amaechi for 3. Now that's something Baldy can't do.
Well, the problem there is, again, on that switch, Baldy was trying to help stop the penetration. There's Baldy inside, making sure there's no penetration, and the Sharks do a great job of spotting up Amaechi, kicking it to him. Baldy can't get there.
Robinson working on Cawthorn. Oh boy, they say that's good. I'd like to see the post play before that, because I thought Robinson, let's take a look at his
Here
left
we go.
elbow.
Nice, that's a good call.
Yeah,
Robinson's in the air. Cawthorn fouls him. Hey, that's as good as stepping behind the arc and hitting the three, because Keith Robinson's a good free throw shooter. John Amaechi pops a three, and now Robinson comes right back down and has a chance to put three on the board for Towers. We're in for a great finish.
Hey, we have got 5 minutes and 44 seconds left to play. 2-point ball game going to a 1-point ball game with this one. This one's going all the way. You know, we had a great game here last night. Your Leopards against the Birmingham Bullets. Full house here last night. Took overtime to separate them. This is looking, could be an overtime game.
We might get an OT tonight, Mike. I wouldn't mind sitting here for another 5 minutes of basketball.
Amaechi has it. Amaechi looks to blow past. Amaechi with the hang time. Gets a whistle. Robinson's in trouble. Robinson's in the trouble.
Kevin Cado's not happy with that call. Kevin Kado very not happy with that call. You can see Kevin shaking his head there in disgust. He thinks in this situation he's got a hurt player on the floor. And if we can see I'd like to see the replay of the play.
Here it is.
John Amaechi drives. Let's see here who creates the Baldy hit Robinson. I think Kevin thought though that Baldy was bumped into by Amaechi. I think the question is who created the contact. This could be a really serious problem here if Amaechi can't come back. I mean, not Amaechi, but Robinson. Keith Robinson, probably the Towers' most experienced player on the floor.
Keith Robinson definitely in some trouble. Neville Austin, I think, will replace him once he's fit enough to be helped off the court.
I think we've got a bloody nose. As you can see, there's a towel down on his nose. And you see the London Towers physiotherapist out there with the rubber glove on his hand.
Danny Lewis and Keith Robinson are both selected for the South All-Star teams.
Keith Robinson will go to the bench. I'm sure they're going to work hard on him. Has a double-double here, 13 points, 13 rebounds. I mentioned earlier his girlfriend, Andrea, in the recent Cup final, she got 22 points and 22 rebounds. I don't think he's going to get there with that much, but he's doing a great job here for Kevin Kado tonight.
Well, I think free throws are going to define this game in this last 5.5 minutes. And so far on the night, if you take a look at it, the Sharks have shot 27 free throws, while the London Towers have only shot 17 free throws. They're going to certainly be a decisive factor down the stretch.
Kyle Brown drives. Let's see what Will says. Will says no basket.
Close call there. Carl does a great job penetrating and drawing the foul. Will says Carl was fouled while he was still on the floor. I like the NBA call on this play, Mike. Where is Carl going but to the basket to score? I think the player deserves the right to finish the play. In the NBA, they call it continuation, and I think it's a better rule.
Neville Austin has it, has Todd Cawthorn on him. The double team doesn't come, but he goes back to Danny Lewis. Tough play on the post. Danny has it. Gets nice screen set by Neville. Oh, what a move. What a move. Gets the drop, Neville Austin.
Great reaction there. Neville had a nose for the ball. He followed Danny to the basket. Danny missed, but Neville is 6 feet, 11 inches tall, and the tip was easy for him.
Mark Robinson on the ball for the Sheffield Sharks. Robinson has 20 points here tonight. Also has 3 fouls. Robinson takes the long way home.
Ooh,
No
tough here.
baskets.
Mark Robinson takes a good, and that's James Hamilton's 4th personal foul.
And Amaechi's just speaking to the official. I think it's about what you were saying, that continuation. Amaechi's gone back now, posting up, going to work on Baldy. Substitution takes Cawthorn out, takes Michael Payne out. Amaechi working hard to get open. Mark Robinson, killer crossover. Oh, that's too pretty. Oh, Mark Robinson with a pretty play.
Mark is very smooth. I mean, he's not shooting the ball that well from the floor tonight. 7 for 17, 41%, but he does have 22 big points for the Sharks. And if you take enough shots, you're going to score enough points. And if you take more shots and score more points, you generally win.
Mark Robinson wraps it around to Neville Austin. Neville makes a good move. Danny Lewis. Oh, the foul is on Myers. Amaechi had a clean block.
They would get a good replay of the play here. It's a nice little baseline move by Danny Lewis. Neville gets the pump fake. There we go. Nice little baseline move there. Too bad Terrell Myers came over there and got involved, because he's got a 6 foot 10 inch tall Amaechi ready to block the shot.
And Amaechi can block that shot. Danny Lewis gets the first.
Danny Lewis on 17 points. And I tell you a stat that I like to watch. I think when Danny Lewis scores 20-plus points, the Towers usually win. He's on 17, make that 18. Let's see how that goes, Mike.
London Towers have not led this ball game since an 0-2 scoreline back at the start of the game. They fought back, tied it up, but each time the Sharks have been able to pull it further away. Great tip by Amaechi. Forces it. Terrell Myers, will they take the lead here? No, they won't. And Amaechi with another mega defensive board. Myers has the ball. Myers on his own, waits for the rest of the Sharks to arrive. Amaechi gets it to Robinson, then goes post up, gets the ball.
Here's the two-man game, Robinson and Amaechi.
Oh, look at that body move. Oh, what a pretty play. John Amaechi. And Amaechi is the highest ever scorer in the Uni-Ball Finals. Leads all scorer, takes the record from Alan Cunningham. Alan Cunningham, who'd held the record up until today. He's in the crowd looking at the game. I wonder if he recognizes that his record has gone. It has. Amaechi takes it over. Oh, that's a big play by Neville.
Nice basket from Neville Austin.
There's Neville again. Had to wait a long time before he could get it. He got it.
Mark Robinson is not happy about something as we watch this replay all the way down the court. Mark Robinson is holding court with Matt Callender over by Kevin Kado's bench. So we'll have to see how that plays out.
Terrell Myers on the ball. Myers gets a foul. It's on Marco Baldi. Baldi trying to set a screen, maybe got a defensive screen, make that three. You know, I think we can take...
Kind of hard to see the actual play there because it was the top part of the wing.
Foul situation. Hamilton and Depish 4 apiece. Baldi and a whole lot of Sheffield players on 3. Amaechi, you know, the last TV game we had, Amaechi struggled from the free throw line. Against, in the England game against Israel, he really struggled from the free throw line. Tonight, John Amaechi is hot and deadly from the free throw line.
He's not struggling tonight from anywhere.
I guarantee you that. 10 for 10. Carl Brown, Sheffield fans making a lot of noise now, calling for defense. Carl Brown has it, goes for the 3. Oh, the arc on that shot. Foul is on Neville Austin. Neville Austin picks up foul number 3.
And I can tell you where we are now, Mike. With 2:38 to go, a 3-point lead. John Amaechi going back to the line for 2 free throws. It's crunch time for the Towers.
Depish is coming in. Depish has 4 fouls. And of course, we still have Keith Robinson still in agony. Not quite sure. Could somebody try and find out exactly what happened?
It looks like he's got ice on his eye or either his high cheekbone there. I'm quite sure he's got a bad headache right now. I know that. It's one of the... He got popped so hard from Marco Baldi on that turn. Caught an elbow to the jaw there. I'm sure that Keith Robinson's got a big headache.
Amaechi gets another one. Kevin Kado is having a go at the officials about something. Not quite sure what it is, but he was definitely having a go at Mr. Williams. Amaechi gets both of them 12 for 12, 38 points. This is a dominant performance by Amaechi.
Hey, John Amaechi has made now the same amount of free throws that the entire London Towers team has made. Towers have hit 12 free throws tonight, so has John Amaechi by himself.
Depish, as I mentioned before, has 4 fouls. Mark Robinson got to be doing the defensive job on Depish. We're told that Robinson, that is Keith Robinson. There's a 3 for Depish. Keith Robinson has a bruised eyebrow. They're hoping to get him back into this ball game before the end if he's needed.
Well, they're running out of time, so if he's coming back, it better be soon. Big 3-pointer there by Depish, and that's why Kado put him back in the game.
Mark Robinson has to go a long way back to get the ball. Feeds it down low, and there's a turnover. Neville Austin just did enough to keep Will Johnson away from the ball.
That was a good defensive play down there by Neville Austin on Wilbur Johnson there, and he took away the passing angle from Mark Robinson.
Danny Lewis has the ball. Danny Lewis leads all scorers for the London Towers with 18 points. Looks to go the long way round. Doesn't get the bucket. Will go to the line for 2.
Danny Lewis does a great job here. I've said all night long that the key is penetration for the Towers, and they settled themselves down. They waited very patiently. Danny got Deion Haynes off balance, drew the foul. If Danny makes these 2, we could have our first tie in quite some time.
Fish has gone back out of the ball game. Marco Baldy's in, and Kevin Kado kind of running that defensive-offensive thing.
He's playing American football now. It's offense, defense. Marco Baldy's out there to play defense, but if the Towers get the ball back, Paul Depish will be coming back in on the offensive end.
Danny Lewis 5 for 7 from the line, misses the first. One minute, 32 seconds left to play in regulation in the Uni-Ball Trophy Final. It's a 1-point ball game. Deion Haynes has the ball.
Big miss there by Danny Lewis.
Terrell Myers to Mark Robinson. Robinson gets it to Amaechi, looks up, sees Baldy on him. And this time, that's a foul by Baldy. Marco Baldy, with all due respect, really cannot defend John Amaechi.
Well, not on the perimeter.
No.
When John Amaechi's inside, Marco does a great job. But what Sharks have done, Chris Finch has recognized this. John Amaechi's gone out to the perimeter, and he's putting the ball on the floor, and he's using his quickness to go by him. That's why they should have Hamilton guarding him on the perimeter, and if he posts, try to go to the switch.
Amaechi gets the first. Closest ever winning margin in this thing is 3 points. 3 points. Looks like this one could be even closer to.
Well, I'm going to tell you, if Amaechi hits this, it's a 3-point lead, but Paul Depish is back in the game, and he's a dangerous 3-point shooter. We still could be looking at an overtime in Birmingham tonight.
And of course, we did say that Billy Mims said it's going to be a 3-point game. So there you go.
A lot of threes tonight.
Depish has it to Danny Lewis. Lewis being worked on. Look at what's going on the post. Danny Lewis looks to drive. It's good.
Smart play. They've got 55 seconds. The Towers are guaranteed to get the basketball back. That was a great call by Kevin Kado. Great execution by Danny Lewis.
Kevin Kado liked that play. He was animated on the sideline.
Danny Lewis has 21 points now, and I tell you,
Amaechi doesn't get there.
Bad shot selection there.
Blocking foul on Deion Haynes.
I tell you what, I've said a couple of things there real quick. Danny Lewis is now on 21 points for the game. He's going to go to the line here and get a chance to increase that. But when Danny scores 20, the Towers generally win. He's above the 20-point mark. He's focused. He's on form. The Towers may have the edge. Bad shot selection there by John Amaechi. They didn't need a 3-pointer that quickly in that situation.
Let's go down and take a listen to Chris Finch.
Okay.
Here he is.
Listen, if they miss both, we're going to run open 5 and get some. We need to get set good screens, okay? If it's a tie ball game, we want the last shot. We want the last shot, okay? If we're down, we're going to come down and we're going to run 42. We're going to run 42, okay? Got it? Got it? And look, if we get a reversal for the big guy slot, okay? Then crash the boards. Crash the boards, all right? Crash the board. Win the bonus. If we don't get it, we got to take a quick hard foul.
There's
Okay,
Chris
if we're down.
Finch. And let's go and hear what Kevin's saying.
What you got, brother?
Looks like we're having a
Hey, we D up. If the ball goes in the basket.
Kevin Kado, we're having trouble. Well, you heard Chris Finch in the earlier part of that timeout saying everybody go to the boards and they want to take the last shot in this ball game. The situation is this. It is a 1-point ball game, 77-78. Danny Lewis will not be pressured by this. He's been there before. He won the championship earlier this year against you, Billy, from the line. But he's shooting 83% on the season. Only 75 tonight, but he's missed only 2. If he makes 1, we are tied at 78 with 32 seconds left to play. If he makes 2, the Towers are up by 1. He makes the first, we're tied.
Either way now, I think the Sheffield Sharks have got to do the job this time of going to the basket. I don't think they want John Amaechi or Mark, anybody, to take a three. They've been having great success drawing fouls and making free throws. Watch and see if the Sharks take the ball to the basket and try to get the Towers to foul them.
The Towers are in the lead. The Sharks have got to score something in this ball game with 32 seconds. Now the situation is this: you heard Chris Finch mention that he wanted the Sharks to have the last shot of this ball game. They are going to look to run this clock, are they? Amaechi doesn't get there. Dion Haynes pulls it in. Haynes gets it out. Who's got the ball? Terrell Myers. Will Johnson is fouled. What's left on the shot clock? Still 11 seconds. Still 11 seconds. Hamilton has gone from this. Kevin Kado now calls a timeout. What a ball game!
Great timeout.
What a ball game!
Hey, great foul in the play there by James Hamilton. Even though it was his fifth, Wilbur Johnson would have had the dunk and they would have taken the lead.
Kado has sent his guys back out there already. Chris Finch was just setting up to take the timeout. Kevin Kado sent him right back out. Now the situation is this. If I remember rightly, Will Johnson missed his first 4 free throws in this ball game. That's going back some. He's made a few since then. Let's see what he does here. He needs to make at least 1, preferably 2, and we could be overtime.
He needs them both here, I think, because the London Towers, if they come away with the ball, I believe they're going to go straight to the basket with it.
11 seconds is a long time. First one is good. We're tied at 79.
Hey, that didn't look like a guy who missed 4 shots tonight, did it?
Boy, is this going to be another overtime game here on this NEC floor. Who's got the ball? Danny Lewis knocked it out. Danny Lewis and Paul Deatfish going after the ball. There are 9 seconds left to play. 9 seconds left to play. And Chris Finch takes the timeout. Boy, this is like the NBA. Tony Dorsey, when we come back from this timeout, I want you to tell me what the Sharks are drawing up. Let's go down and take a listen to what Chris Finch is saying. There's Amaechi. I think they're going to go to Amaechi. But let's hear what Chris Finch is going to say.
Listen. We're going to run gold, right? And we're going to put John right there, right? Terrell, you inbound, okay? Right? We got our other people. We got Dion here, okay? And we got Will, Mark, okay? If we can just pop it into John, we do so, okay? Then we cut, and you look to spot up, okay? So if they double, if not. Exactly. If not, we got the normal cuts in here, okay? Also,
Getting out.
Somebody get out. What's that?
Get out between you. Yeah, you good.
Yeah, Dion, get out.
Get out, yeah.
Listen, there's 9 seconds. We got the last shot. Whatever you do, make sure you throw it that way. Don't throw it that way.
Let's go, baby. It's our game.
There it is. Okay, the ball will come in from the sideline. Terrell Myers will inbound the ball. The situation is this. We're tied at 79. If we don't have another score, we are going to go to overtime. Will Jones is going to talk to Amaechi and Neville Austin, who are getting real close on the post, not surprisingly. Towers to win this would have to score. Myers for 3. Myers nails a 3. Myers nails a 3. Carl Brown has it. Needs a 3 to tie. Doesn't get there. Sheffield win the ball game. Sheffield win the ball game. What a play by Terrell Myers. Chris Finch wins his first trophy in British basketball as a coach. John Amaechi has been sensational in this ball game, as has Mark Robinson. There is Carl Brown, the face of the seat. Billy Mims, tell me what you thought of those last few minutes.
Fantastic finish to the game. I mean, Sheffield dominated play for most of the game. The Towers made a great run, fought back hard, and I tell you, in that last play, Chris Finch, the rookie, showed some real guts there, because there's no way in my 17 years would I have tried to win the game with a 3-pointer.
Now, I know that you are far too modest, Billy Mims, to say I told you so. You predicted a 3-point win for the Sheffield Sharks. I'll come back to you in a minute. Tony Dorsey, what did you make of that?
Well, I think that was a very exciting important game, especially for a final. We had two of the teams that went all the way through in the Uni-Ball Championship, and they gave us all what we wanted.
You know, Mark Robinson, to me, has been stunning tonight, has 22 points. But to me, John Amaechi was quite sensational. 40 points, the highest ever individual score in a trophy game, and 13 rebounds as well.
Well, I think John did a great job all night long, but he better thank Terrell Myers for bailing him out, because John took a horrible three-point shot a couple of minutes ago and missed and gave the Towers a chance to win it. Terrell Myers showed great guts. I've said all year that Terrell Myers is gaining a reputation for making big threes, and that might be the biggest three-pointer of Myers' career right there.
John Amaechi turned and saluted your commentators. You know, this has been a truly wondrous performance, no doubt about it. The presentation is about to be made. There is Kevin Kado. This is the first time he has lost a final. Carl Brown, Tamir Berkovich. You know how these guys are feeling. This would have been 3 in a row for Kevin Kado. They were unable to pull it out. There's Roger Duhaney. Didn't get on the floor in this game.
A tremendous basketball game, I'm sure you'll agree. Put your hands
I think, you know, we get to watch the Sheffield Sharks celebrate here. I've got to say, well done to them. Once again, I've got to say, hats off to Chris Finch. His rookie season, he made some big calls in a big game. He went to his two superstars in Mark Robinson, John Amaechi all night long. Only 6 Sheffield Sharks players scored in the ball game. He went to Amaechi all night. He went to Robinson all night. But in the end, he went to Terrell Myers.
There's Tamir Berkovich getting his runners-up trophy. Carl Brown, of course. Carl, who was here MVP last year.
Carl had a great look at that last shot, too, Mike.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he's got to feel dejected because he got a good look at that last three-pointer.
I think the good thing there for the Sharks was that knowing they would have to score the 3 would put bigger pressure. They weren't going to lose from that situation, I don't think, if they hadn't scored. I think we would have gone to overtime.
But if Myers missed that shot with 9 seconds to go, Carl would have probably attempted a layup on the other end. So Towers would have gone to the basket. Big shot. I mean, you can't question the call. They made it. Tremendous guts on Chris Finch and a great shot by Terrell Myers.
There's Neville Austin. Just before that, you saw Marco Baldi. We can see no sign of Danny Lewis. I think some of the guys have already gone to the locker room. Don't know if the pressure was too much. Yes, Paul Depish is actually coming back. There is Roger Duhaney, gets his runners-up medal. And Kevin Kado, the winningest coach in British basketball, has never lost a trophy final in the past, has to pick up the runners-up medal today. Danny Lewis now comes back onto the floor. I don't think he's going to get his presentation. The officials, who I think did a great job tonight, Will Jones, Keith Williams, and Mark Callender, received their mementos of today's ball game. They did a good job, I think.
They did, and 2 young officials there again. It's been a 3-man experimentation, but I thought Keith Williams and Matt Callender did a fine job complimenting Will Jones tonight.
And the Sheffield Sharks, Todd Cawthorn, picks up the Uni-Ball Trophy for the 1997-98 season, and they are partying in the streets of Sheffield. There's Todd Cawthorn. This is his first trophy for 3 years. They did the double in the first season, and remember, they are still in the Budweiser League as well. Nicely positioned, nicely positioned.
All right, let's remind the fans out there, I'm sure the folks in Sheffield know, but this is the second trophy they've collected this year because they won the Adidas International Challenge preseason tournament by beating Rundorf from Germany and beating a team from Hungary as well. So I think this is the second time this season that they've walked out there, a preseason tournament and this tournament here tonight, and collected the silverware.
Here's Mark Robinson going up to get his first trophy, not counting the preseason thing. winning his first trophy in British basketball after making that move from Manchester. And here is John Amaechi. Are we going to see him play any more games over here? I don't know. Are we going to see him in any more finals? I don't know. But we definitely saw him in this one. Will Johnson. What a great evening for the Sheffield Sharks. There's Brian Aldred going up to get his trophy now. And this must be particularly sweet for Crispy. Earlier we mentioned they wouldn't let him come in as a coach. You remember at the start of the season, they said he wasn't experienced enough. I wonder what they think now.
Well, I tell you, Chris has become a very experienced coach in a very short period of time. He's 3-0 this year against the most successful coach in British basketball.
One more announcement to be made.
15 rebounds.
Here it is.
Out of the three-point
He had a Uni-Ball Trophy Final record, 40 points. MVP is John Amaechi.
John Amaechi of the Sheffield Sharks gets the MVP at the end of a sensational ball game. Billy Mims and Tony Dorsey are going to go over to the senior position and join Dominic to discuss this. I have thoroughly enjoyed this. Commiserations to the London Towers, but tonight it's congratulations to the Sheffield Sharks.
Well, what an absolutely fantastic night for the Sheffield Sharks and everyone who follows them. They've beaten the Towers by just 3 points, and it was Terrell Myers who did the business. But let's hear from tonight's MVP. Suzanne Dando is talking to John Amaechi.
Thanks very much, Dominic. Well, I'm not sure whether you can hear us because the crowd are very, very excited tonight. Top scorer tonight. You understand that you've broken the record of Alan Cunningham.
I didn't realise, but it's quite an achievement. I watched him play when I first started, so I'm quite happy. More happy with the win, though. Much more happy with the win.
Now, you help out, don't you, John, in all respects, from the outside three-pointers to the inside, of course, and you did that all again tonight.
Yeah, I think, you know, we're lucky. Well, we had Terrell today. He said before the last play that if he gets it, he's going to make it, and he made up for a bad shot from me in the last seconds there, so he really helped us out.
Now, you know the last two games, obviously, you have beaten the London Towers in your league encounters. Was there anything that you felt that you might have had to change as your game plan as the team tonight?
We just knew that they would be really hungry for this game because they might be out of contention right now for the league championship. I don't think so myself, but other people have said so, and so we knew they'd really want this piece of silverware, especially since they've always had it, apparently. So we knew it would be very difficult, and I'm just glad that the whole team made such a great effort.
Well, they certainly did. Well, it's an honour to be an MVP, but surely it was an honour to play in such a quality basketball game tonight.
It was a great basketball game, and I'd like to say that I dedicate this game to Laszlo Nemeth, our national team coach, as he should always be. I think he's been unfairly treated, and I'd like to say, Laszlo, it's for you.
I'm sure he appreciates that. But back to the game, John, you had some great battles, didn't you, with the big guys at the Towers, Hamilton and people like Baldy. There were some good matchups there.
Yeah, certainly. It seemed like at one point in the game they had everybody on me, and but they made life very difficult. But that's what they're supposed to do.
Summing up then, John, what does this piece of silverware, particularly for Chris Finch, it's his first as coach, isn't it, mean to the team?
It's a great start. It's a great start.
John Amaechi, congratulations. May you take your trophy home with pride.
Thank you.
Back to you, Dominic.
Well, Paul James did it with the Thames Valley Tigers. Chris Finch has now done it with the Sheffield Sharks. But what a great performance there from John Amaechi, Tony Dorsey.
Yeah, I mean, John Amaechi, he came out early and sustained his offense, and he carried it all throughout the game. I mean, he scored 40 points. Anytime you score 40 points, you're having a great game.
And he was great from the free throw line. And, Billy, we thought that might be a problem for the Sharks, but Robinson as well was good.
Well, I said if it goes down to free throws, bet on the Towers. But when John Amaechi, who has been struggling at the line lately, decided to go 14 for 14 tonight, every free throw that went in was 1 point closer to a Sharks victory.
Of course, everyone's talking about John Amaechi being perhaps the best British player we've ever produced. But what can you do, Tony, against a guy who's 19 stone and has his agility?
Well, it's very hard to stop. I mean, as you see, he takes the ball out. on the three. He penetrates. He made one move on Danny Lewis. He took Danny Lewis off the dribble, and Danny Lewis is one of the best defensive guards in the league. So, I mean, he's a tough guy to stop.
And Billy, at the end, we suspected, I think, that when it got closer, it was going to favour the Towers. But Sheffield, to their credit, showed very good stuff up here, didn't they?
Well, I tell you, they made a big-time shot in a big-time moment. I think everybody in the house thought that after that timeout, when they inbounded the ball, they were going to go to Robinson or they were going to go to Amaechi. But they didn't. They went to Terrell Myers, and he made the shot of the day. John Amaechi was no doubt the player of the game. But the play of the game and the victory and the winning basket belonged to Terrell Myers.
Well, let's take a look at it then. Terrell Myers coming off the bench.
What a play, what a play. And you know something about this play? If we can run that one more time. Run that replay, here it is. Terrell Myers inbounded the ball. And anytime you're in an out-of-bounds situation, coaches always tell their team that the most dangerous player in an out-of-bounds situation is the one who starts out of bounds. Terrell Myers started out of bounds, inbounded the ball, stepped in, and nobody picked him up, and he goes home with the winning bucket.
Well, we ought to hear from Mr. Myers, shouldn't we? He's with Mark Robinson and Suzanne Dando.
Thanks once again, Dominic. Well, we've just been watching that last bucket of yours. You're looking very proud.
Yeah, I've been waiting to get that shot all game. Mark fed me the ball, I stepped up and shot it.
Well, I just spoken to John Amaechi, and he said that you said to him, if you make that one, that's it.
Yeah, I told John and I told Mark, because they control the ball. I was like, if you give me one shot, I'll make it. They got me the ball. I had to make it, so I just shot it.
And you kept to your word. Mark, congratulations. I know this is one trophy that you were looking forward to win, and it happened. But it was a tough path, wasn't it, for Sheffield to get to this final with the playoff?
Oh yeah, I mean it was definitely a tough path. I mean I think the Leopards they gave us a hell of a fight, but you know I mean when it's all said and done we got the trophy and maybe we'll be able to see them again later on down the road. Who knows? But you know what? No, never mind.
You're not going to tell us. You'll keep us in suspense. But the game, I mean, the winning margin, or the biggest winning margin apparently on this tournament, this trophy is 3 points, which is the difference between the scores tonight. But you really sort of out-rebounded them defensively, you guys, tonight, didn't you?
Yeah, we went out after the offensive board, you know. They weren't blocking out. They were so worried about double-teaming John. They were leaving lanes to go offensive rebound, and our guys went after the boards.
Certainly did. I just forgot, congratulations. I believe it's Dr. Mark Robinson now.
You better believe it. I think, I think a lot of people don't understand that. When I came to England, I had a couple missions to accomplish, and it just so happens that I've accomplished all of them during the last 3 days. I got my PhD, I got a trophy. I think it might be time for me to move on.
Now, one of the things that I think let Towers down, particularly in the early stages of this game, was their free throws. I mean, you outplayed them in that respect completely, didn't you?
Yeah, I think, I think as a team we've been struggling. I know I've been struggling with my free throws, but this is one of those once-in-a-lifetime type of opportunities where you get on the line, you got to knock it down. And tonight we did the job, and I think it's difficult when you play a team 3 and 4 times, and you got to beat them 3 and 4 times. They were doubling, tripling teaming me, so. I mean, John just did all the work. He's the man, and I just want to be the man next to the man.
Well, you certainly are. Let's have a quick look at the trophies, guys. Well, congratulations to Sheffield Sharks.